winter season, the pigs' access to soil is limited, and they're kept in a deep bedded barn and in a heavy use area around the barn that's full of wood shavings. But we understand that rainwater on that is going to be running off containing manure, and I need to keep that out of the creek. My name's Katie Penke, and we're here at Alluvial Farms. This is a first-generation family farm. We are primarily pork farmers. In 2020, we added hemp, so we now have a line of lard and hemp-based wellness products. There's always going to be some type of runoff coming off of a livestock operation. When we realized the stream was listed as fish-bearing and that it had been farmed right to the edge, and we realized that we could put 10 acres of the site into Conservation Reserve Enhancement Program planting. With 180 feet between all of our activity and the creek, and then a growing native plant community in that buffer, we're able to ensure that all that water is infiltrating and being taken up by plants and attaching itself to soil before reaching the creek.
When we talk about the riparian zone of a creek or river, we're talking about that section of land that's right next to it. A buffer then is going to be a section of riparian plantings in between the creek and whatever other activity might be happening next to it. And usually in Whatcom County, we're talking about farmland. I think the first component that you need, obviously, is a willing landowner who wants to put a buffer on their land. And then after that, identify what are the needs that are there. What type of buffer do we need? How wide does it need to be? What types of plants might be appropriate in this given instance? There's really three main benefits that those buffer zones provide. The first is that they provide shade to keep the water cool for salmon. The second is that they provide habitat for birds, for insects. It might be a food source for salmon. And the third is that they act as a filter for surface water runoff.
I guess in many ways I feel like the forest planting that you see behind me is maybe one of the biggest legacies of this farm business. It's way more permanent and long-lasting than any pig that I'll ever grow.
So there isn't really a one-size-fits-all solution for buffers. It's really important to work with farmers and having local agencies that have direct knowledge of these creeks, of these streams, and can help identify what's appropriate and what's necessary is a crucial part of installing buffers.
The more filtration and natural space we could have between our high-impact activity, the better. In the same way that it's totally tied in with the story of how we even access this land, I think planting this forest is completely tied in with our concept of how humans make food. What does it take to grow my meat? And maybe over time, how can I eat less meat, but make sure that the meat that I'm eating is produced close to my home with care for the land, care for the community, and in a place where I can visit and see how the pig is being raised.